Welcome to 𝐄𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄𝐔. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development. It's the current time of 9:53 a.m. on Eastern Time on August 9th on Tuesday. Hope you guys have a great week so far. ETHEREUM closed at $1,708, that about close to 4% so far. Respect over crypto market and the equity market on this Tuesday morning so far, across the board is relatively weighted down. Seems like with respect to the overall macro market and obviously some of the tech earnings, is firstly anticipating a negative CPI report that's coming out tomorrow. Which is going to be, I believe, releasing at 8:30 a.m. on Eastern Time, but also being foreshadowed by negative stocks earnings from NVIDIA, which is a sizable US-based chip maker. They have their revenue guidance shaved down and a warning sign on inflationary pressure, recession on a global perspective going forward. With NVIDIA, being a tech company, a chip maker that has direct correlations to a lot of tech stocks, obviously, it drives the overall market to go down, knowing the fact that the largest part of the composition of the stock market is coming from the technology sector. So it is, quite weighted at the moment, and obviously crypto is another, I guess, adjacent, not direct correlation to chip makers, but has, obviously correlations to the tech sector, is also being weighted down as well. In addition to that, I'm also looking into other news with respect to airline. Seems like Spirit Airline post loss on surge in costs, expected Florida challenges to continue. So it seems like there's more additional negative macro elements coming out from airline industry as well, onto driving more weight on your shoulder, or the overall macro market shoulder, if you catch my drift, onto the next major catalyst tomorrow, which is the CPI report coming out, right? And then I'm also seeing other news. This is more trivial. It seems like Serena Williams, obviously the tennis legend, she's announcing her retirement from tennis, and obviously she's a venture capitalist now, like similar to myself. Being a full-time investor now into investing to startup companies, to other franchises. Like I know that she recently bought a soccer team, alongside with her husband as well. Another trivial news is it's a very non related to crypto, but it's Ezra Miller, which is the actor who plays Barry Allen, Flash, right? Seems like he's charged with felony burglary, days after the Warner Brother Discovery CEO, Selzlav, I think that's how you say his name. It's the CEO of this Discovery. Praises the Flash movie on this recent debut, obviously, right? So obviously with that, I'm not sure how that will weight down the Disney stock per se, but I mean, he is one of the franchise actor in this equation, right? So with him being on a center stage of potentially going to jail for a while, that will delay the schedule, and obviously they probably have to replace him, dependent on how much of a revenue driver is this movie making on behalf of Disney, right? So and at the same time, it seems like the 10-year yields is still levitating around like the 2.8%, and the VIX is rising high because we're approaching to the timing of tomorrow. So we are having some sort of anticipatory pressure combined with a mixed bag of negative news, but these are not like in your face negative news. I think the main negative news that we're seeing is the NVIDIA stock adjustments on their guidance. So let's just dive right into the technical without wasting more time. I'm actually planning on getting a haircut today. I feel like my hair is getting a little long. I know I put it up but when I woke up, I felt like my hair exploded. If you know what I mean, just like all over the place. But I want to look presentable for you guys, and that's why I put on a shirt. I know my background is a little bit weird, but hopefully you guys can tolerate. I'm just more of a, I just, record this once in my bedroom, and I'm pretty pure on the technical without a lot of like cinematics or aesthetics, if you may. So respect to recording time, approximately 10 a.m. on the Eastern time. So we are at 1692, which is basically $1,700, but 1,700 is not a real level, right? As we know, and we've been studying so far. And right now, we've been still contemplating which way we're going up or down to on the MACD front. And you can see that RSI is already kind of giving up steam. We've been getting blocked so many times at 65 out of 71, 2, bunch of times, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. So 10 times of rejections as we approach higher level. And it makes sense why, right? Because if you look into it, we have a sizable leap up to 1860 as the next level, right? So seeing some sort of not a major correction, but just normalization, cooling down the technicals on the RSI front makes a lot of sense, right? And as we're approaching the CPI report, which I have no idea if it's going to be positive or negative, I foresee it might be negative, which makes more sense based on the, like how many times can we really get all the stars in alignment, right? With respect to like the recent job numbers that we saw on Friday. It was I guess we got lucky on that day. But for those that are cautious and think strategically, ultimately we still need to see the tactical nature and the proactive nature of the Fed, right? Are we gonna go with 75 basis point again? Did it work last 2 times? Or are we gonna go with 1% all together, right? So we have to see, right? But right now the technical on a daily doesn't look good. It's quite bearish. But weeks and months out, right, you could see that we're quite bullish. So seeing some short-term volatility and then some weeks and months out upswing, knowing the fact that we do have technically, quite some time of separation in between all the way until September on the next FOMC meeting, makes sense, right? So with respect to Bitcoin, you could see that we are quite dragged, right? At the same time, you get canceled out so many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like a bunch of times, right? Similar to Ethereum. So I think seeing some sort of like normalization coming down, right? I'm not saying a sizable one, but like coming down to maybe 21,000, right? All the way to the worst, right? 19,500 can be logical, knowing the fact that we do have some levels to come down from. And on the weekly, still quite bullish. You have seen the golden cross up form, and the monthly, you could see that we are slowly fusing up. So, something to think about, right? Monthly and weekly looks quite good. Daily does look kind of funky, right? And this is applicable across all the other coins on the altcoin side of the house. Some are a little bit more aggressive than others, right? So you just have to like triangulate that well. And respect to, just take a look at Tesla, which is like, a good indicator on the overall market sentiment. Doesn't look quite good at all, actually. We are about to form a death cross. You can see that clearly. We have canceled out and we have been quite extended. You could see that, right? So weeks and months out, yeah, it's quite bearish on Tesla, actually. Bearish on a weekly as well. So seeing some normalization coming down to the 800. Makes sense. So that kind of tells you that the market should see some correction coming. Not a sizable one, but like, a logical one in the near term, and then see some recuperation. So very similar in terms of trends so far. Okay. Well, have a good rest of the day. And if I see anything that arises that's interesting, I'll probably record back again. I'm gonna be at home today. I was like out pretty late last night, so but I feel energized. So I'm gonna go get breakfast now before my next meeting at 11. So appreciate you. Have a good day and take care.